Well, we certainly would like Article 50 to be revoked. It's important to bear in mind that the people of Gibraltar voted massively to stay within the European Union. If that cannot be done, and if it cannot be revoked, then at least there should be a people's vote between the Withdrawal Agreement and staying within the EU. Why? Because the UK Parliament has now said several times that this is a bad agreement for Britain. And indeed, it is a bad agreement for Gibraltar for the reasons that we have explained, and indeed because compared with staying in the European Union, it is not the preferred way of the people of Gibraltar. So I certainly think that it would be inconsistent to back a withdrawal agreement in Gibraltar, given the massive mandate that the people expressed in 2016 that we desire to stay within the European Union. And indeed, it is, I think, quite interesting to see the chief minister's changing of positions. You know, this is a government and a chief minister who sided with Mrs. May, intrinsically was the biggest cheerleader of Mrs. May at the time of the withdrawal agreement, and now suddenly is saying that they favour the revocation of Article 50 or a people's vote. Well, they can't be all things to all men. The GSD has been very consistent on this issue, which is that we wish to remain in the EU. This is a lost opportunity to negotiate a better relationship, a recalibration of our relationship with the EU. But insofar as the coming days and weeks that as we go forward, we certainly would prefer a revocation of Article 50 or indeed a people's vote.
Well, in terms of renegotiating a deal, of course, the Chief Minister has expressed satisfaction that Gibraltar is sufficiently protected in this withdrawal agreement. Of course, if you open up renegotiations, which the EU has said it's not prepared to do, but who knows what's going to happen going forward. There could be a general election, for example. If those negotiations are open again, does that not put Gibraltar at greater risk?
Look, the withdrawal agreement was a massive lost opportunity for Gibraltar. Why do I say that? Because this is a withdrawal agreement that is based on two big pillars. Mrs. May has said this ends freedom of movement and it ends single market access. The two things that Gibraltar wants. It's diametrically different to the core objectives of the people of Gibraltar. So those objectives, those uniquely tailored arrangements for Gibraltar, should have been thought of and negotiated and lobbied hard throughout that 2-year period. So what we have is a set of arrangements in the withdrawal agreement that really doesn't get anywhere close to preserving the kind of fundamental objectives and recalibration that we want with the European Union. We also think that it is a short-term deal which has involved a degree of concessions having to be given to Spain as the price to get a bad deal for Gibraltar. And for all those reasons, therefore, we do not think the withdrawal agreement is a good deal for Gibraltar. Is it an opportunity if there is going to be a reopening of the Article 50 extension period for someone to ask for conditions? Well, yes, indeed, and that is why we have said recently in our reactions to the votes in the UK Parliament that we should remain vigilant to make sure that our friends in Britain are clear and stand by Gibraltar and make sure that Spain does not condition any extension.
How satisfied are you that Gibraltar is prepared for whatever happens next, whether it be a no deal, a default no deal, which is still a possibility, or an extension?
We are not confident at the moment that all bases have been covered on Brexit contingencies. We have received certain briefings from the government, but of course we're not involved and participating in all the meetings that the government are doing or the plans that they are devising so as to strategize for this. We certainly think that 2 years on after the Brexit vote, there should be very robust plans to cover for Brexit contingencies, and we would expect the government to have provided for that.